Hello, you are welcome to our next Excel video tutorial on how to do the grading. Here we have the opportunity to, we get the opportunity of applying different knowledge that we have acquired in Excel into practice. It's an interesting thing, so I believe you go with me on that. So we have the opportunity of doing, let's say, autofill here and doing addition, multiplication, and generating a lot of interesting things. So let's find out. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. So the first instance is just for us to get an index number. Okay, so I go by creating any series of index number. So let's say SN slash WEE slash let's say 24 slash 00001. So that is the index number that in my case I've created, and press enter. So once I put in this, I can go to my autofill handle and then double click or just click and drag to where the cell is, and Excel does the rest for me with my autofill. That shouldn't take our time at all. So we deal with that quickly and we go. So once I type in the sequence, Excel will understand the sequence and generate the rest for me, as easy as that. Okay, so now let's come to the next interesting thing. Okay, so let's say, okay, that in doing this, we don't want the names. I don't want. Okay, let's go this way. We want to add the total of the quiz. Okay, so we have the quiz 1 and quiz 2. Anytime you want Excel to do something for you, just tell Excel, the cell called Kwesi and the cell called Ama, put them together for me. Excel will go into the cell, and whatever is inside the cell, he will do the addition for you. Okay, so let's go this way. So this is where I want my results to be, 40%. Okay, I just have to add the 2 because we then presume that the quiz 1 and quiz 2 is up to, let's say, 40%. We don't really know, so I would then even edit and say this one, to make it fair, I'll make it so that we know this is 20 marks. Yeah, and you know how to, if you want to edit a cell, you double click on it, or you click on a cell and you press F2. Okay, so that's what I did, and then I can add the 20 to this cell, meaning that the quiz 2 is 20 marks. Okay, so let me open it so we can see the 20 that I added. So this will clear every doubt that this quiz and that quiz together will give us 40%, because 20 plus 20 is 40. Okay, so here I can now select my first cell and say, okay, I want to type in a command. So I start with equal to. So equal to, whatever is in this cell is known as cell C2. So whatever is in C2, I can even click on it. Excel will put it there for me. Once I put the equal sign there, whatever is in C2, and then comma, whatever is in D2 is what I want Excel to work on for me. This is what I'm actually looking for. So as I said, you see, when I press enter, it gave me a wrong value because I did the wrong calculations there. So what was wrong? So it should have been equal to C2 plus D2 equal to C2 plus D2. I want Excel to do a simple addition for me. So when I press enter, it returned with the correct answer, say 29. You see, this is where people make mistakes. Then somebody would come again and tell Excel equal to C3 plus D3. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Because you then be typing in the formula one after the other for Excel to calculate for you. You don't need to do that. That is where the power of autofill comes in. Once you select the cell with the formula inside it, you see, as soon as I click on that cell, the formula is shown in the formula bar here. The mistake most people make is that once they press enter Excel will move the selection to the next cell, active cell down. And this is even a question. When you press enter in a cell, what happens? It moves down one place in the next active cell. So when you press enter, Excel will select the next active cell down. So once it has selected the next active cell down, I don't have to do an autofill with this because there is no data or formula in the cell that is down. That is where people struggle. Go back and click on the first cell that you typed in your C2 and D2. That is where the formula is. Then you put the mouse pointer on the autofill handle. Then you can now do your autofill. Even when you drag, you see, I dragged and I didn't get to the end. Don't panic. Even if it happens that I go and click somewhere and my dragging was not complete, I can always select the last cell that is highlighted because Excel has now put the formula in that last cell. Then come and continue my dragging. There is no fight about that. So Excel will continue to add for me. Let's see something. If I click here and then I want to drag down again, because here and this cell, there is no data in it. And let me go down and see. It gave me 0 because Excel went there and didn't get anything. So it gave me 0. So that's how Excel will calculate it for you. Now we are done with the 40%. Okay, now here is where people struggle. My score was over 100 and I want to calculate 60% of my score. So you see, just say it this way. I want to calculate, so equal to, oh sorry, my selection was still in that active, so I have not selected where I want to put the answer. So I click here. I want to calculate 60% of my exam score. Just the way I'm saying it. So I want to calculate 60%, you see, of. Anytime mathematics will say off, it means multiply. I'm calculating 60% off my amount. I want to pay 20% off what I owe. It is multiplication. So what do? Equal to 60% times. So times is the star sign in Microsoft Excel. When you go to the numeric keypad, you can find it on top of the number 9. When you come to the alphanumeric, where there are alphabet and numbers, you'll find it on the number 8. If you want to type the one on number 8, you have to hold the shift key down. Other than that, it will give you the number 8. But if you want to type it on the alphanumeric, you just press on the sign. So equal to 60% off. In this case, I am looking for the 85. But as I told you initially, I don't have to type 85 there. What do I have to type? The name of the cell, so that Excel will go into the cell and find out the number that is already in that cell. So in this case, equal to 60% of the cell called F2. Equal to 60% of the cell called F2. Then I press enter. The Excel returns the answer for me. But remember, as soon as I pressed enter, it gave me the answer and moved the active cell down. So you see the trick? If you come here and do an autofill, you will not get it. So go back and select where the answer is and then do your autofill. I can pause and come and put it on it again and drag my full autofill there. Now to do the total, all that I need to do is to remember that I'm totaling the items in G and items in E, and we have done addition. So we go for equal to the items in E, which is E2, plus the items in G, which is the first one, the G2, and go for my enter. Once I press enter, the active cell is down again. Let me go and choose where my answer is and do an autofill. So I just double click and it gave me the autofill. So now we are coming to where we are going to do the grading for this work, which is also an easier approach. We can go by 2 approaches. We can stay with the if command. Let's look at the first way to go by this document. So I can just go here and go by the hard way, but it is quite simple. Some people struggle with that. I can go with my if statement equal to if, right? Then I have to open a bracket equal to if. Just follow what we are going to do. Now, what we need to do is let me come here and say, 80. We are looking at 80, 75, 70, 65, 60, 55, and then 50. 80, 70, 65, okay, and 50. So this is where we have A here, we have B plus, we have B, we have C plus, we have C, we have D plus, then we have D. So this is this is what we are looking at. So let's now work it. So we say equal to if, we are using the if statement or if command. Then we open a bracket, equal to if, we have opened a bracket. What is the logical test? The logical test is, what do I want to refer to? The logical test is that I am only referencing the cell called H2. That if that H2, whatever number is in that H2, my argument is simple. Whatever number is in that H2, if it is greater or equal to a number that I'm going to give Excel, Excel to give me A for that statement. So let's see how we're going to do this. So if this is greater, in typing the greater than sign, you have to use the keyboard, greater or equal to 80. If it's greater or equal to 80, what do I want Excel to do? What I want Excel to do is I start with a comma. I want Excel to give me a specific number. And the grade that I want Excel to give me is in double quotation. I say A, and I close the double quotation. That is all. Then, after this statement, I go by a comma to continue my logical test. Okay? So, in continuing, I put a comma and go to if again. Then open another bracket, because I'm going to start another statement. So my first statement is done. If, then I go to A2, I'm making another argument. Is greater or equal to, this time around I'm reducing it, so it's 75. It's equal to 75. Then comma. In double quotation, I want Excel to give me B plus. Close my quotation. So you see, what I want Excel to give me specifically is in double quotation, just like what we did earlier. Comma again. After the comma, I go for another if statement again. If, so this is my third argument. So you see, we are going to use this one here to understand it. So if Excel, so I open if again, and at any time I bring if, I open a bracket. If H2, I'm referring to the H2, the cell that I'm typing my argument is for Emmanuel Kumsin. If H2 is greater or equal to, this time around I'm coming to 65. What do I want Excel to do? Comma. What I want Excel to do should be in quotation mark. I want Excel to give me C plus. Okay. So here, okay, I'll come and edit that place. C plus in quotation mark, I close. Then I go a comma there again because I've not finished my argument. If again, and once if comes, I open a bracket. If H2 is greater or equal to, this time around, I'm coming to 60. Comma. What do I want Excel to do? I want Excel to give me C. So in that C, I have to put it in double quotation because that's what I want Excel to give to me. Double quotation. I want Excel to give me C. Sorry, I made a mistake. As I press something I shouldn't press. Okay. So let me go back and continue. Okay. So I want Excel to give me C. So that is in double quotation. After that argument, I go for my comma. If I open a bracket again. Don't forget this consistency. If H2 is greater or equal to, this time around, I'm coming to 55. Then comma. What do I want Excel to do? Double quotation. I want Excel to give me D plus. Quotation, double quotation close. Okay. Then once I have gotten to the D plus, I go for my comma again and go for my if statement. If I open the bracket, anytime I type if, because I'm making another logical test, if H2 is greater or equal to, then the value now I have is 50, comma, what do I want Excel to do? Double quotation open, I want Excel to give me D. You see, as we type all this, it asks us if the values that I'm saying that Excel should look for is true. What should Excel do? What Excel should do is to give me the grade that is in double quotation. But the last question becomes, if Excel goes through that cell that you are referencing, doesn't find 80, doesn't find any range from 75, doesn't find any range up to 50, the numbers that it finds is below 50, it means the value in there does not meet what we are asking Excel to look for. Excel cannot find that value, so that value is false. If it's false, what do you want Excel to do? I just put a comma, and this time around, no if statement again, and this time around, tell Excel that now I'm getting to the end of the numbers I want you to look for. So what I want is that if you don't find any of the number ranges I've given to you, double quotation, give the person E. Then I close the double quotation. That is the mark I want Excel to give. Now remember, let's understand our argument. How many times did I type if? Let's count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I type if 6 times. Because of that, I need to close my argument 6 times at the end of everything I've typed. So Excel will use that 6 close bracket at the end to close each of my if commands. So I press the shift key down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've typed the bracket 6 times, and Excel will use each of the brackets to close my if statement that I opened up when I was typing my arguments. So that is it. The number of times you refer to the if, you must close the bracket that same number of times. So when I press enter, Excel returns an A for me. So the range is quite simple. Once I press enter, it sends the data to the next line, and I must go back to where my argument is. Double click or click and drag down for Excel to do the autofill for me because the argument was complete. Okay, in this video, we are going to learn how to count the number of A's. Okay, we want to count the number of A's, or we can just type a simple remark and say that, let's do the remark first and say equal to if, equal to if, we open an argument and say the items in H2, if they are greater or equal to 50. See, we are making one argument that we want to divide the document into two. If those items are greater or equal to 50, if they are greater or equal to 50, what do we want Excel to do? We want Excel to give us the word pass. So pass is in double quotation. If they are not, that's comma, what do we want Excel to do? We want Excel to say fail. So you see, this particular one was just a two-sided argument whereby we are asked to either say it is a pass or a fail. Okay, so once I type the fail, I put it in double quotation. Now remember, this particular one, there is only one if statement that I've made. So I close it only once. I close it only once and press enter. So now Excel goes into the column. You see, where you should be careful is that we are not talking about the grade. The grade is just a string, something I've typed there, a letter. The letter does not connote that is not equal to the number. I just told Excel, when you find 80 and above, give me the letter called A. So the value or the number itself is in H. This is where our total is. So every reference, we refer to where the total is. When we're doing the grade to know which one to be A, which one to be B, which one to be C, we are referring to where the total scores are. So when I'm doing the remarks, I must still refer to where the total scores are, because that is where the numbers are indicated. And all our argument is based on the total mark. So here, my argument has been, if the H2, which contains the total, don't come and say I2, it doesn't contain any number. If this H2, which contains the total, is greater or equal to the number 50, greater, it is bigger than the 50, or equal to the 50 itself, the person has passed. Or else, if Excel doesn't find the range from 50 and above, give the person fail. Okay? Okay, so even if we want to make our own different, we can say give the person receipt. So we will make our own receipt. Okay, instead of fail, we'll do it receipt. So pass or receipt. Okay, so I can easily edit the text in the editing box here. Okay, sorry, in the formula bar. Sorry, I can edit the formula that I've typed in the formula bar. As soon as I have my result, don't forget to come and click on where the answer was and then do your autofill. Now, Excel will do your autofill for you. As simple as that. So let's say I am asked to count the number of students who passed. Okay, so I type pass. Oh, sorry, I type pass here. Okay, now I want to count, so let me do it better. So number of pass. Okay, so number of pass. So I click in front of it. How do I count it? It's as simple as that. Equal to what? I am counting. So count if. Then I open a bracket. What do I want Excel to look at? You see, this time around, I want Excel to count passes for me. So where can I find the pass? Sorry, the word pass can only be found in the J column. So which of them? I want the J1. So CountIF J1. Who can help us with the formula here? Okay, let's go over again. Let's do a repeat. Don't forget to start with equal to. So equal to CountIF. Then I open a bracket. Yes, of course, we know we are starting from J2. Okay. Now, you see, when you are counting, you see, don't rush. As I type the formula CountIF, it says range. We are looking for the range we want to count. So H2, now you remember, then the last here is J19. H2, J19. So Excel will now select the range that you want it to count. In the formula, as you are typing, it is guiding you. It has put a comma there, just put a comma. What is the criteria? Criteria is that a quotation mark should be given here because you want Excel to go and look for an exact word called pass. Then I close the quotation. You see, it's as simple as that. I want Excel to look for the exact word called pass. Then I close the quotation. Then I can now close the bracket as well because my argument was in a bracket. Enter. Then Excel counts it for me. Here, when I click on the answer 14, there is a formula to that effect that tells me equal to CountIF J2 is to J19, and the word pass is there. So there's a formula in there. It has counted my number of passes for me. This is that simple. This is that simple. So by so doing, you have counted the number of ifs or the number of passes in this your document. So this is it. We can count and do all sort of things here with this particular video that we have. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. The next one, what we want to do is probably create a document and try to split the document into they have a name, probably separated by a comma or a space. We want to learn how to split the document into other cells, so we understand how to go about that in a typical document. So in our next video, we'll look at splitting cell for you to understand what is the basic requirement What do you need to do when you are splitting the data? That is what we look at in our next video. I hope you enjoyed this and you have learned together with us. Thank you very much and see you next time. Bye.